everyone, ready to dive into something new. Today we're tackling blue ocean strategy.
Ah, a classic.
Right. It's all about escaping that constant pressure of competition, finding fresh, wide open spaces for growth. And to guide us, we've got Blue Ocean Shift by W. Chan Kim and Renée Mauborgne.
Great choice. They really lay out a clear path.
Yeah, it's not just theory, they get into the nitty-gritty.
For sure. One of the things that really stuck with me is how they describe businesses being stuck in these, what do they call them?
Red oceans?
Yes, red oceans. It's such a powerful image, right? Everyone's fighting over the same shrinking pool of customers.
Yeah, it's like being in a shark feeding frenzy. Everyone's just slashing prices, getting more aggressive, but ultimately it's a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely. And the authors argued that there's a better way. Instead of trying to win in that bloody mess, they say, why not create a blue ocean?
Okay, I'm intrigued. What exactly is a blue ocean, and how is it different from, say, just disrupting an existing market?
Well, think of it this way. Disruption usually means attacking an existing market, right? You come in with a cheaper or slightly better product and try to steal customers.
Right, shake things up.
Exactly. Yeah. But blue ocean strategy, they call it non-disruptive creation. It's about swimming to a whole new part of the ocean where there is no competition.
Yeah.
You're not trying to outmaneuver the competition. You're making them irrelevant by creating something entirely new.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture, but this all sounds a bit abstract. Can you give me a real-world example?
Absolutely. Take the National Youth Orchestra of Rock, for instance. They weren't trying to be just another orchestra in a world that's already full of orchestras. Instead of aiming for technical perfection, they focused on the unifying power of music in a country ravaged by conflict.
So they tapped into a deeper emotional need?
Yes. They brought together young musicians from diverse backgrounds, playing a mix of traditional Iraqi music and classical pieces, really showcasing the power of music to heal and bridge divides.
So their blue ocean wasn't about technical virtuosity, it was about social impact, right?
Exactly. They redefined what a national orchestra could be. It wasn't about taking down other orchestras. It was about carving out their own unique space in the world.
That's a powerful example, and it reminds me of Group Seb's Actifry. Remember those? They didn't just make a better deep fryer in an already crowded market.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
They tapped into the whole healthy eating trend.
Right. Creating a new way to enjoy a guilty pleasure crispy fries with a fraction of the oil.
They totally redefined the problem. They weren't asking, how do we build a better fryer? It was more like, how do we make fried foods guilt-free?
And by doing that, they attracted a whole new customer base. People who wouldn't have considered a deep fryer before were suddenly interested. That's the power of blue ocean thinking.
It's brilliant. Okay, so you've got me convinced about the potential of blue oceans, but these are all big organizations. Can this apply to smaller companies or even individuals?
Absolutely. And that's what's so exciting about it. It's not just for the big players. It's a mindset, a way of approaching any challenge with a fresh perspective. And that's what we're going to get into next.
I am so ready for this. So how do we make this blue ocean shift happen? Where do we even begin?
Well, it all starts with a fundamental shift in thinking.
Let's talk about that mindset shift. What does that actually look like? So we need a complete mental reset. What does that look like when we're trying to find our own blue ocean?
Well, it's about shifting from a competitive mindset to a creative one, right? Instead of obsessing over your rivals, always trying to grab a bigger slice of an existing pie.
Right.
You're focused on baking a whole new pie altogether, one that appeals to a brand new set of customers.
I love that analogy, baking a new pie. It's about value innovation, not just trying to be slightly better than the competition. So once we've made that mental shift, what's the next step? How do we actually start charting our course to this blue ocean?
Well, the authors, they give us a 5-step process. And the first step is gathering your crew, your blue ocean team.
Okay, so these are the folks who are going to help you navigate these uncharted waters. Makes you wonder, though, how do you even begin to map out an ocean that, well, doesn't exist yet?
That is a great question. That's where step 2 comes in. Understanding where you are right now. The authors introduce a tool called the strategy canvas. Have you ever heard of this?
I've heard the term, but I'd love to hear more about how it works.
It basically helps you visualize the competitive landscape of your industry, like you're getting a bird's eye view of the entire playing field.
Okay, so you can see who the key players are, what factors they compete on, where the crowded areas are.
Exactly. It's all about identifying the kind of taken for granted factors in your industry. And it forces you to ask, are these factors really serving customers? Or are they just a product of tradition and everyone copying each other?
Right, just going through the motions. So the strategy canvas helps us understand where everyone else is playing the game. But to find a blue ocean, we need to figure out where no one's playing yet. How do we even begin to imagine that? That's where it gets really interesting.
Exactly. And that's where step 3 comes in, using what Kim and Mauborgne call the buyer utility map.
Okay, this sounds intriguing. What exactly is a buyer utility map?
So imagine you're stepping into your customer's shoes.
Right.
You're seeing the world through their eyes.
Empathy, I like it.
Yeah. The buyer utility map, it maps out the entire buyer experience from the moment they first become aware of a need for something your industry offers
Okay.
to the moment they, dispose of a product or replace a service, the whole shebang. And what it does is it forces you to think about all the pain points, the frustrations, the unmet needs that customers might have at each stage.
So you're looking for those little annoyances, the things that customers may not even realize they're putting up with because they think it's just how things are.
Yes. Those unspoken frustrations, those are your clues. They can spark those aha moments that lead to a truly innovative blue ocean move.
So we've had our mindset shift. We've mapped out the existing playing field with the strategy canvas, and now we're getting inside our customers' heads with the buyer utility map. What's next? How do we take all these insights and start generating some real blue ocean ideas?
Right, we've got to get those creative juices flowing. And for that, the authors lay out 6 paths to help us challenge the status quo, really push the boundaries of what's possible. 6 paths to a blue ocean. It's kind of exciting, right?
Lead the way. I'm ready to explore these paths. Let's dive in. Lead the way. I'm ready to explore these paths. Let's dive in.
Okay, so path number 1, it encourages us to look across alternative industries. Sounds a little out there, but...
I'm all about out there.
Right. So we often get so stuck in our own little industry bubble, but there's so much inspiration to be found in seemingly unrelated fields. Like if you're a coffee shop, don't just look at other coffee shops for ideas.
Yeah, branch out.
Exactly. What are hotels doing? Bookstores? Even gyms? How are they creating unique experiences? See what you can borrow and adapt.
Stealing like an artist. Love it. Okay, what about path 2? What's that about?
Path 2 is about looking across strategic groups within your industry.
Yeah.
So thinking about the different levels of customers you serve or the different price points offered, could you borrow an idea from, say, a higher-end competitor and adapt it for a more budget-conscious market?
Ooh, I like that, kind of like democratizing luxury. Okay, path 3.
Path 3 encourages us to look across the chain of buyers.
Yeah.
So often, we just focus on the end user, the person actually using our product or service.
Right.
But there are other influencers in the buying process.
Oh, for sure. I mean, think about a textbook publisher. They might traditionally focus on selling to schools, right? But what about the students themselves or the parents? They have a huge influence on those purchasing decisions.
Exactly. So thinking about that whole ecosystem of buyers can really open up some unexpected opportunities. Okay, path 4. This one's all about looking at complementary product and service offerings.
Complementary. You mean like what else are my customers using or experiencing before, during, or after they interact with my product or service?
That's exactly it. If you're a restaurant, for instance, it's not just about the food, right? It's about the whole dining experience.
No.
Could you partner with a local theater to offer a dinner and a show package?
No, that's thinking outside the lunchbox. Okay, hit me with path 5.
Path 5 is a good one. It challenges us to look across functional or emotional appeals. A lot of industries, they get so caught up in the functionality of what they're offering, they forget about the emotional side of things.
So instead of just selling a functional watch, you tap into that emotional desire for status or belonging that a luxury watch might offer. Something like that.
You got it. Don't be afraid to inject some emotion, some personality into your offering. And then last but not least, path 6. This one's all about time travel.
Time travel. Okay, now you're just messing with me.
Not literally, but it is about looking across time. What are the trends shaping your industry? How might those trends influence what customers want in the future?
So it's about anticipating change, being proactive rather than reactive. Okay, so we've explored these 6 paths. We're swimming in blue ocean insights. But how do we actually translate all of this into a concrete plan? How do we go from big picture thinking to actual action?
Right. We've got to bring it all together. And for that, they give us the 4 actions framework. It's all about asking 4 key questions about your industry and your current offerings. What can we eliminate? What can we reduce? What can we raise? And what can we create?
So it's about challenging those deeply ingrained assumptions about how things are supposed to be done, right?
Exactly. The first 2 actions, eliminate and reduce, those are all about identifying costs that aren't really adding value for the customer. Are you overserving them in certain areas? Can you strip away unnecessary features or services to streamline things. Then, raise and create. Those are about identifying areas where you can increase value for the customer. Where can you exceed expectations? What can you offer that no one else is even thinking about?
It's about finding that sweet spot between cutting costs and wowing your customers. Do you have a favorite example of a company that's used this framework really effectively?
Oh, tons. But one that always comes to mind is Citizen M Hotels. They've created this whole affordable luxury hotel experience.
Oh, I've heard of them, yeah.
So they've challenged the norms of both budget hotels and high-end chains.
Yeah.
They raised the bar on things like bed quality and the social atmosphere in the lobby, while eliminating unnecessary extras like room service and bellhop services.
So they really focused on what mattered to their target customer, the modern cost-conscious traveler, and just stripped away all the fluff.
Exactly. And that's the power of this framework. It forces you to prioritize, make tough choices. But those choices, they can lead to a truly unique and profitable blue ocean offering.
It's been incredible exploring these ideas with you. I'm already thinking about how I can apply this to different areas of my own life, those places where I feel stuck in a bit of a red ocean rut.
That's the beauty of it. It's not just a business strategy, it's a life strategy. It's about approaching any challenge with a fresh perspective and a willingness to rewrite the rules of the game. And who knows, you might just create a blue ocean of your own.
That is such a great point and a perfect note to end on. Until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, keep seeking out those uncharted waters, and most importantly, thanks for diving in with us.